Do you have a home security emergency plan in place just in case a home invasion comes to visit you? Well, there are steps that you can take that might be able to alleviate that situation before it even happens. Let's talk about that, your questions, and a whole lot more. Coming up tonight on the Builders Tribe Tuesday night Fireside Chat. Coming right up.
What's in this box will help you to avoid this. Whoa. When I first bought my house, just like anyone else, I was concerned with security. So what did I do? I put an alarm on, put the cameras up, put the lights out. But I realized that all that stuff only really matters if they already got in the house. Good point. The alarm doesn't go off until they're in the house. The cameras don't show anything until they're in the house. And the lights, I'm inside, so I don't see the lights anyway. Another good point. I decided, what could I do to prevent people from getting in the house? Hence, Home Defender Guide 101. 5 DIY tips on how to make your house more secure for under $100 in less than an hour. You may be just like me, on a budget, and want to have security in your house. So click the link below, send me your email so I can send you my list on how to make your house more secure in less than an hour for under $100. If you don't act now and get the information, then something happens, then you can't say that I didn't offer it to you. Talk to you later.
Yo, what's up? What up? What's going on, Mr. Weapon?
What up, dude?
I guess that's a pretty decent intro to what we're going to talk about tonight.
That was very good. Very, very good, sir.
Oh, man, that's a video I did a couple weeks ago. Like I said, it's like the timing is actually perfect because I'm about to release that probably within the next week or so. And I put the link for the free download in the chat if anybody's interested. We're going to talk about a lot of those things tonight. There's direct links how to get the stuff we're going to talk about tonight, and I got it somewhere. Yeah, I got it in the box over here on the floor. But before we get started into that, I just wanted to welcome everybody back to the Tuesday night Fireside Chat. Why is that going so small? I don't know. Anyway,
there we go.
Welcome back to the Tuesday Fireside Chat. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. Last week, I do apologize. I had such a massive headache pretty much all freaking day, man. It was just horrible how I was feeling. So I couldn't get in the right mindset to join you guys. And then Weapon ended up having to work and close at his job. It was just crazy. So we do apologize for not doing the show last week. What's up, Playboy? We'll get to that. We'll get to him in a minute. We'll get to all you guys, but I just wanted to say that really, really quick because we definitely want to do the show as much as possible. And with all of the summer now, we're getting in the holidays. We're doing our best to get back on in the swing of things. But with that being said, welcome everybody. If you're watching live. We definitely appreciate you being here because it's on a Tuesday night at 10 p.m. You could be anywhere to 10 p.m. Eastern. You could be doing anything, anywhere with anybody, but you choose to spend this time with us, and we really, really appreciate it. If you're watching the replay, then we definitely appreciate it because we don't know where you are, what you could be doing, but you're choosing to either watch or listen while you're driving or just let it play in the background because this is going to be some very good information. So we really appreciate it. For those of you that are in the chat, please feel free to post your questions. If you're posting a question to the chat room, to the usual suspects, the tribe that's in the chat room right now, just go ahead and post your questions. They'll be happy to answer it. If you have any questions for us, please preface your question with 4 question marks before your question so we know it's for us, and Mr. Weapon or myself will pull it aside so we definitely make sure to answer your question as soon as possible. In a lot of cases, we'll answer it right away if we can. So before we go any further, we just want to go ahead and bring on the Mr. Man himself, Mr. Hawkeye. What's going on, Hawkeye?
What up? Hello, brother? My fellow builders. How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
Good,
how about yourself?
Good, dude.
Getting back into building season.
Yeah. We've seen that earlier today.
Yeah, man. He's got some things going on, man. It's gonna blow your minds. And did you get all that gear packed away?
How big was it? Was it this big?
It's about as long as my leg.
I can't even. I wouldn't be able to fit it in the frame. But yeah, man. Did you get all that deer put away?
Yeah, I should have maybe one or two more coming.
Oh, geez, man. I got what size is your freezer? The size of a house?
I got two. I got one for meat that I cut up, and the others for meat I've already processed.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
okay.
Depends on what you want to eat. You go to one or the other freezer.
I had a friend of mine give me
some. Do you want sausages or do you want steaks?
Yep.
Yeah, he gave me some tenderloins last night. He got a 9-point buck. I think it was either Sunday or Monday. No, it was Sunday. He got a 9-point buck, and he still had the meat in the back of his truck because it's been really cold here. And so he gave me a couple of tenderloins. He said,
"Oh hell yeah!"
He said it's kind of like the filet mignon cut of the deer. So
just take one of those mallets that you meat tenderize and just beat on it a little bit to get it about 3/4 inch thick or so on each side, and then season it the way you want it. Marinate it or grill it or however you want, man. That's good eating there.
Okay, well, definitely gonna put it into play here. I actually got my you guys know that I got my deer hunting rifle, my Marlin 3030, fully refurbished and ready to go. I'm just waiting for my partner to hit me up and be like, hey, let's go, we going out. And I'm probably gonna, hopefully, fingers crossed, gonna bag my first deer this year. And I don't know anything about butchering, but he knows how to butcher and all of that stuff. So he knows what's good to eat, what's not good to eat, and all of that good stuff. So hopefully I'll have a story about that here before the end of the year, if we can go. But before we go any further, Mr. Weapon, who we got in the house tonight, man?
Man, we got actually quite a few people in here. Even some faces we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
some names, faces, usernames, aliases, whatever. Got Raymond Stewart in the house.
Mr. Stewart, good to see you, friend.
Got Ed Levance in here.
Ed, what's going on, man?
2 Alpha Life, welcome in. Welcome.
What's going on? Welcome.
You played, boy. Stranger danger. His parents told him not to talk to strangers.
What's going on, Blade Boy? Hey, man, I sent you a message. I didn't see you post up your links in the forum, but if you still got those links, if they still live, man, go ahead and post them up, man.
Oh, Medium Mike, dude. Hey, long time no see, man.
What's going on, Mike? Good to see you, man. Glad you're still around,
man, brother. Oh, hell yeah.
Darth
Dev in the house.
The usual suspects.
and Ed Levance again.
Ed Levance. Man, look, man, I'm excited to be here. Like I said, when we first started the show, some of you may have missed it, but I played a video that I'm about to actually drop on my DJR empowerment group because it's about home security. And Senior Moment, he's the one that brought to our attention that we had never talked about this on the show. He posted up, I think it was last week or the week before, asking, had we talked about it? And it's like, well, no time like the present to go ahead and get it out the way. I think all of us here, as well as you guys in the chat, have a lot of experience with home security and security of our family. So hopefully you'll be able to chime in and give us some good feedback.
Myself on both sides of the playing field, sadly.
Yeah. I talk about weapon pretty much at least twice a week in my classes when we talk about the different things that he'll probably share tonight. I don't want to steal his thunder, but he'll share his story and some of the things that can help. And I guarantee you, when I tell my students some of the things he's told me, they kind of look like, what? I did not know that. So, and that's what we do. We use our personal stories to help share and help everybody else. So, but why don't we go ahead and jump right in? I know I have a screen to share, but I'm not sure if it's going to come up. So if it comes up, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. But what do you guys want to start at? I mean, home security is such a large,
and it's so varying. I mean,
yeah.
Your home security versus my home security versus Hawkeye's home security are going to be completely different. You've got, you've got city mouse, country mouse, and apartment mouse.
It's three totally different aspects of security, man.
Right.
It's a balance of risk and how much money you want to spend to secure it. So you have to look at your neighborhood, places in your house or places in your apartments that might be easily accessed.
I mean, we could do several different versions of this show over a 2-month time frame and never touch on the same thing, just because there's so many different things to consider. But let's just keep it on home security at the moment, and not so much talking about our chosen firepower that we have for our home security, but the home security. We all have that.
Home.
Everybody here has that. But let's talk about some of the things
storage
right now. Yeah,
placing.
Storage. Yes, we definitely want to discuss storage because it's very important. What were you going to say, Hawkeye?
I said I've spent 5 years putting in home security systems and small business security systems before I became a tool maker. Straight out of trade school, I got the job as a low tech technician, and I learned a lot during those years on what works and what doesn't work. And like I said before, it's you got to determine your risk. If you have a window ground level, or you got a window 3 stories high, or you have a door that's easily kicked in because it's no deadbolts or nothing, you got to weigh in all this and what you want to secure. And that would depend on how much money you get. Now, back when I did all this, everything was done with wire. So it took me, 3 to 5 days to install a home security system because I had
to run the wires everywhere. Yeah.
Everything now is wireless. And that's my system now. It's all wireless. Back then, we didn't have cell phones. So now everything's hooked up with a cell phone backup.
Yep. You get an alert. Who is that? What are you doing?
It depends on what you need. But one thing that is important to all home security, business security, whatever, is noise. If you set off some noise, it's gonna what the heck? And
now
start running.
Well, now with that being said, most and this has been my experience with all of the different alarms that I've had. Most alarms are not instantaneous. They're not going to go off as soon as a window breaks or the door breaks. But most people want to be able to, unless you have a remote, and they do have.
Here's the way it works. Here's the way it works. If you're away, you can program your system to have a 30-second delay or 10-second delay, whatever you want to set up for one door that is accessed for in and out. Now, if you prefer to be home and have your alarm system on while you're home, there's another setting that's usually called home. And what it does is it arms everything instant, and it turns off your motion detectors or your glass breaks or stuff like that in the house. So you're secure in your home. If anyone kicks in the door, pops a window, that's what happens. And now here's something you might not realize. Most of the alarm systems I put in that had a complete home security system like that, where they did all the windows and doors, it was so they could keep their teenagers in at night. Believe it or not, that's what it was for.
Well,
Monty says his has home, stay in a way. Yep, same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and keep in mind with these security systems, there's so many parameters you can set, field of area that it can detect in.
Yeah.
I live in an apartment building, so my front door, I don't have it set up to where if somebody walks by, it goes off. But if they're persistent visitor, if they're standing in front of my door for more than 3 seconds, I will get an alert. And I'll get a screenshot and I'll get a video.
Yeah.
And granted, I live in an apartment on the 3rd floor, so I'm only worried about one entrance, but that's also my only one exit.
Yeah.
Unless I feel like diving out of a 3rd-story window, which I've done in my past. I don't feel like doing it again. It hurts. Yeah.
Well, and there's different like Hawkeye said, what do you want to secure? Like me, I had about a year and a half ago, someone stole a catalytic converter out of my Jeep in front of my house. Now, they didn't have to walk up to the house, and it wasn't in the driveway, it was in the street. However, at that time, I didn't have any cameras at the front of my house.
Yeah,
so that catalytic converter was just gone. Nobody saw nothing. Even my neighbor across the street that has a Ring camera, he said, "Oh, it didn't record." And if it's set up on motion, because my block is he keeps it in front of his house completely dark, which I don't know why he does that, but that's his house, right? So whichever direction they came from, it didn't set off the motion detector in his Ring camera, so it didn't record anything. But now, you say it only got to happen once, right? So I got cameras on every access, every corner of my house. I have one pointing toward the street, if that way if anybody parks on the street, and I have lights out in front of the house. So they'd be hard pressed to not get seen on one of my cameras. I've got 3 cameras across the front, one pointed at my door, one pointed down my driveway, and the other one pointed at the street. And then I got cameras on each side and in the back. So it's really just like you said, it depends on what are you looking to secure.
Right.
Because I don't want to go outside, here in Virginia, and every law has their own every state has their own laws. Here in Virginia, we can't protect our property. Meaning we can't run outside and protect our
life.
We can protect our life, but we can't protect our property. That includes the house. So if someone breaks a window, I can't go outside and, go to work and take care of business with them outside. They have to be in the house, and my life, even in the house, my life has to be in immediate danger. Even to the point, and what's crazy is, even to the point, and I teach this in my classes, even to the point that if I'm in my bedroom, which is on the other end of the house from where I'm sitting right now, this is my office. If they come in one of these windows in my office, and I come from my bedroom, and I meet them in the middle in the living room, and for some reason they end up hurt, I could be arrested because my life wasn't in immediate danger, and I went to the situation. So
I know
how do I combat that?
It's frustrating.
That means I put cameras up all over the house. That way, I don't have to come out. I can call the police.
And not only that, but it's not only for, hey, there's somebody in my home, but it's also documented proof.
Yeah.
I told him to get the fuck out. He lunged at me.
Yeah.
There's the video proof there. He had a blade in his hand. I let off 5 rounds, and then I tried to provide CPR as I called you guys to come in. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So since we talk about, let's talk about some of the things. And I'm looking at the comments and what some of the people, I think Monty says, mine, he has his home stay in a way. Okay. But he also talks about, he keeps a gun in it. Yeah. Okay. What's the other one? Picture frames with cameras. Very low key. Okay. So, nobody's going to look twice at a picture frame close enough to tell there's a camera in it.
He might even be suggesting the hidden firearm picture frames as well.
I have one of those too.
The hideaways.
Well, I actually have. I can't I'm not going to say, but I actually have several hidden spots in every room in the house that's secured, but easily accessed to me. If you easily access to anyone who knows where they are. Okay. Guns in picture frames. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I have a picture of a gun.
Is there a gun in the frame? Please tell me. It's a photograph of a fucking 1911, and behind the frame is the exact same 1911.
Okay, Monty.
It just comes out.
I wouldn't have known that was back there.
So let's hear from and
it reminds me of the Chuck Norris joke. You know, what's behind Chuck Norris's beard? A badass tattoo of the same fucking beard.
Some of you were here when the video first started, when I think it might have been just Hawkeye, but if you didn't see the video, go back and watch the replay of the video I was talking about. When they talk about kicking indoors, one of the things that, and these screws are a little short, but I'm probably gonna put some longer screws in there. One of the things I came across was when you talk about home invasions and talking about people kicking indoors, because that's the if they're not trying to sneak in, they're just going to kick in the door and go for what they know, right? So
here's the thing: if you're in the country, the odds are they're going to kick in a door. If you're in a subdivision, they're more apt to go through a window. That's the way it works.
Well, the statistics say that the first point of entry, and this is nationwide, is through the front door, then the back door, then the windows. So when I talk to people about securing their homes, that's the first thing I say: secure your doors. How do you secure your doors? Most people don't even think about it because they move into a house, even in an apartment. They move into the house and they just take for granted that the door is secure, right? It has a lock, might have two locks, right? But I'll ask you guys, and you know the answer. If someone kicks in the door, what gives way first? How does the door get broken?
Usually at the knob end.
Nope. Nope. The frame.
Yep.
The lock never gives. The frame itself will give before the lock will.
Or the door itself,
right.
because a lot of the stuff they use nowadays is hollow core.
Right. Yeah. But one of the quickest ways, I tell people to secure your frame is with these bad boys. 3-inch screws.
Yeah.
Yep.
Through every what do you call it? Hinge. 3-inch screws through the hinges. 3-inch screws through the strike plate. And 3-inch screws to every strike plate. As a matter of fact,
that's what I did at all the homes when I put in a security system. The first thing I did was change out all that, and I made sure the hinge sides screws weren't those 3/4 screws. They were also 3-inch screws that went all the way into the 2x4 frame of the door.
Yeah, that's the way it should be everywhere.
These
Blade
strike
Boy.
Plates.
Fuck around and find out. That's how it should be everywhere.
Yeah. Well, again, we can talk about that stuff, but in every state is different.
Yeah.
I tell people get these your extended strike plates and put 3-inch screws through these, because they help. Because again, the number one place they're going to try and come through is through a door. So if you have a backyard like mine where they can get into my backyard from another person's house, my back door, the one right here behind me, is the only back door. This sucker is dead bolted and has 3-inch screws through everything. So they're not getting, they're going to come through that window before they get through that door.
Yeah. And especially if you put a deadbolt on, you have to use those long screws in your strike plate. Otherwise, your deadbolt's useless.
And if you have a chain, you might as well have bubble gum sticking to your door. Even those
they give way, dude. They give away so easy.
Oh yeah.
Plus the myriad of different ways that you can bypass those chains with something just as simple as a rubber band.
Yeah,
Playboy, a paper clip.
Door jam will break. Yeah. Well, these here, anybody ever seen these? These will, and you put these up high, and the only way to open the door is like it goes inside the door jamb, and then the door goes here. So this is secured to the frame with 3-inch screws as well. So when they try to kick the door low, because they're trying to mule kick, like in the video I showed you, they're gonna mule kick. It's gonna be toward the lower side of the door. You can either put one of these down there or one of these up high. Up high is probably the best because it'll distribute when they try to kick it. Up high won't even get any force on this.
Right.
And the whole frame with this here, the whole frame would have to come out of the wall for that door to come through. This is what, a $20 piece of and we've tested these on doors, and I'm actually I'm probably going to go to find one of the abandoned houses in the area, put one on the door, and that way I'll show you even an old door won't get kicked in with this thing here. So this is like $20 or whatever. Again, if you go to the link, you can find it. But I'm gonna drop that video probably next week. Because people don't know these things. They don't know. And when I saw this, actually my trainer had one of these, and I couldn't get the door open. I was putting everything into the daggone door, and it wouldn't.
I'll add to, Ram had mentioned deadbolts. People, if you live in a rough neighborhood, use your fucking deadbolt.
For sure.
I could get into somebody's house with a credit card or an ID in 5 seconds if you don't have your deadbolt locked.
Well, I got rid of every lock.
It takes nothing.
I got rid of every lock that wasn't a deadbolt. So the only way for me to secure my house is to deadbolt it, because I didn't want to forget to put the deadbolt on. Your doorknob lock. If you just close your door and it's locked and you don't think about it, you didn't lock your deadbolt. So now the only way for me to lock any door in here is to put a deadbolt on it, and the two exterior doors have two-way deadbolts, so you have to have a key to get in either one from either side. But that's just a couple of the things. What else do you guys have? What else would you say people should do to secure their home? So we talked about what did he just say? Change them more like not used against the person to kick the door into the face. Yeah.
As your who's there?
Yep. Yeah, because that chain's not going to do a daggone thing. I don't know who invented those or why, but I mean, I guess they wasn't mule kicking doors when they invented it. So, but what else would you say that people can do to secure? And I'm gonna really pose this one to Weapon, because this directly relates to maybe some of the things he wants to talk about. And when we talk about home invasions, what are some of the things that people do that they don't realize that they're kind of inviting a home invasion to their house? Weapon?
Your typical signage, sorry, ammo prices are too high, no warning shots. Your Brink security system signs, your beware of dog signs, your family symbols on cars. If you got your little stick family on your car, I know that there's a papa and a mama and two babies. And if I'm in the home and if I'm a bad guy, I'm going to avoid the two babies' rooms. If I'm a super bad guy, I'm not. Right. But I know that there's a mama and papa in there, and I'm going to be watching out for them. Things like that. You're leaving a window open at nighttime all the time. Leaving the garage door light on at night, because that gives somebody something to see. They're going to walk around the neighborhood at nighttime. They're going to be looking in windows. You got your light on in the garage. They can see inside of there. They know what's in there. They know if you have anything valuable. Lock your cars at nighttime. Don't leave money on the dashboard. Don't leave a cup holder full of change.
Yeah.
If you have habits that you do, occasionally change those habits. You know, if it's something like shutting your light off at exactly 10 o'clock at night every night, every once in a while, shut it off at 11 or shut it off at midnight. Yeah, there's so many different things. Locking your windows, because for most criminals, if they're doing break-ins, they know how to visually see if a window is locked or not from the outside.
And you know, I could say, you know, always keep your window locked, but not everybody, you know, has AC, right. You know, so sometimes people, it's hot in the summertime, you know, you live in a place, maybe your AC went out, you got fans and you're trying to get some airflow, and I get it. I certainly do. I mean, my AC went out, I think last year or the year before, and it was out for like a week, man. I was freaking in agony in this house. And I did have the windows open, and luckily I had windows that could crack open, but not open all the way. It had a second lock where you could at least get like a 4-inch crack, but wouldn't open any further than that. But not everybody has that opportunity.
And so, if you are somebody that has to leave the windows open at night, a nifty little trick for your screen window, you know, pull outs, put a little piece of duct tape on either side of it, just the smallest little piece. Doesn't have to be anything crazy big, because just that slight force back when somebody's trying to get into the window, or the noise of the duct tape ripping, might be enough to deter them. It's not a for sure, but it might be. Put things on your door. In my apartment here, I have a string of bells on my door handle.
Yeah, we have those too. Yep. That door opens no matter how gentle you open it, it's going to make noise.
Yeah, no matter how stealthy, because I tell you what, your firearm's not going to wake you up in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, intruder." Right?
Yeah.
And how many times?
I got a killer dog that does that.
Right. And how many times during the night does your phone go off? And is your phone going off the same thing as your phone going off for your home security? How many times do you just ignore your phone when it goes off in the middle of the night?
Well, that's how a lot of people, that's how a lot of cars get stolen.
Yep. You know, and I know Ram drives Uber. I know Ram drives Uber also, folks. You know, in a lot of states, your home is your car is an extension of your home. You should have some sort of dash cam in your vehicles, especially in this day and age. You never fucking know. There's people road raging and shooting people on the highways, right? You never know. At least you'd have video proof of some sort, or the catalytic converter thing. At least you'd have a face of the individual before they crawled underneath your car.
Yeah.
My car was randomly targeted 2 years ago, and I had 3 tires slashed.
I remember that.
In my parking lot. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, man.
Woke up in the morning to go to work, and I was like,
hot.
"What the fuck?"
He was hot.
What the fuck? I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't patrol my parking lot for about the next 2 or 3 weeks late at night. just hoping.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's unfortunate these things happen, man. It's just freaking ridiculous that we have to deal with these things. You know,
Playboys, check situational awareness for miles from home. Make sure nobody's following you. You know, is that car tailing you, and is it taking the same lefts and same rights that you're taking?
Yeah.
Maybe you just got done for a shopping trip at the mall. No. Speaking of,
he's detecting somebody.
Speaking of alarm system.
Sounds like my alarm.
Yep. That's good stuff, man. You know, I used to have a pit bull, and he used to, you know, make a bunch of noise, usually at the wrong time, but I always made sure to look around where he's looking, just because you never know, right?
It's as if they knew what kind of video we were making.
Yeah, exactly.
Like on fucking cue. Oh,
but I mean, all of this is great stuff, you know. It just, because some people don't think about some of these things, and when we talk about some of the other things, and I actually had, okay, so let's talk about locks, right? Some people, you know, especially Hawkeye, I'm actually putting one up, but we have sheds, different things that we want to lock up, you know, so people don't get into them. I have locks on my garage door. Now my garage door is where my shop is, so I definitely have to keep that locked. But sometimes people go buy a cheap lock because, oh, it's what I can afford. Okay, great. Something is better than nothing. Mm-hmm. But I would tell people, I would rather you, especially if it's outside where someone can access the lock. You get a lock that one has an anti-pick, what do you call it? Anti-pick feature or anti-cutting feature, and is weather resistant. And one of these is, and like I said, I got all of this stuff on hand because I'm doing a video right now, but these locks here, and they don't have to be by master.
Those aren't bad. Yep. Or if you can find the puck-shaped ones, those are fantastic because there's no way to get a saw behind it. Yeah,
these are puck-shaped, right? This one here.
No, it's.
Or you're talking about something different.
Yeah, the lock is actually the mechanism, or the bar is actually behind the lock.
Oh,
the lock
okay.
is like the lock is a puck shape,
mm-hmm.
and your whole area where you could even cut anything is behind the actual lock, and there's no there's no space to fit a blade in there. There's no way you're getting a hacksaw in there. There's no way you're getting a bolt cutter.
Right.
If you guys can find those, they're fantastic.
So these,
check like
those are probably rated a 10. These here rate security level 1 out of 10. This has a security level of 8. So I'm assuming that's pretty daggone good. But these are what I'm putting on the shed once I have the shed together out back.
Hell yeah.
I bought 2 of them because I'm going to put one on the inside of my garage door. I have a good lock in there, but I only have one, and I have 2 places to put a lock. So what better way to be better secure is put another one in there. So, but again, all of these are on the list, guys. If you, I'm going to post the link up again, but if you want to go and see the list of things, and let me see where I have it. Says, because some people, you know, I try to keep the list affordable for anyone, you know, because some people think they got to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get security, and you know, I put on the list 6 things that you can do and get your house secured in under $100. You know, most people, you know, especially people that smoke, a lot of them spend $100 in a week time just getting cigarettes. But then they quick to say, oh, I don't have the money to secure my house. Well, you smoking cigarettes, stop smoking for a week, or better yet, smoke 1 less pack a week until you get $100. Now go get the stuff. Guarantee you'll have it done in a couple weeks time frame. But
oh yeah, Blade Boy. Locked doors only keep honest men honest.
Pretty much. Freaking much.
If they want to get in, they'll find a way.
Let's see, where is this? Is it here? Is it TL? Is it TL?
One other thing you might mention is motion lights outside.
Yep. Yeah, that's it's funny. It's like you're reading my mind, Hawkeye, because that was the next thing I was going to. Again, and I'm not pitching these for any company. Like I said, I went through and tried to find different things that were affordable for people, but I think this is probably like $30 for 2 lights. I don't know, I don't even remember. But give me a second. These motion lights, right? You get 50 feet from its location. So it's like, I think it's like maybe 150 different LEDs in here. And it's very bright. I have a couple out back my house, and I'm very happy with it because they get within 20 yards of my house. Every one of these in the backyard cut on.
Yeah.
So
they're real good for keeping coyotes away from your house too.
Yeah. Yep. So I just posted the link in the chat where you can get to the list that has all of these things on it. But yeah, these are very good. Anybody watching this, they have several different modes. You can program it to come on and it'll go off in 10 seconds, but it'll come back on in another 10 seconds or something like that. So I haven't played with it a whole lot. I just put the ones, and it's what do you call it? There's no batteries. It's solar powered. So when you put it up on the house, it gets powered by the sun, and then at night when it needs to come on, it comes on. So you don't have to worry about replacing batteries. You don't have to worry about running wires. If the power goes out, is my light now out? No, it's 100% solar powered. It's 120 LEDs, and it comes in a box of 2. So but yeah, so
that's just, even if the solar panel goes bad in 5 years, you spent $20.
Yeah, you spent $20, and it's right. Freaking, and if you don't want to go on Amazon, go to Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight has them as well. You know what I mean? You can get, again, 3-inch
your local Lowe's, your local Home Depot.
Exactly. And it's real easy to put them up yourself. You don't have to pay anybody. I tell people all the time, Hawkeye, you can attest to it. When you went to houses to do alarms, did you do each house differently, or pretty much you had a set way that you did the houses where you put of course there's going to be a little bit differences, but for the most part you put the door sensors in the same place, the window sensors in the same place. Nowadays,
run the wire to them.
Right. If you can run the wire, but nowadays, like you said, everything's Bluetooth now, so you don't have to run any wires. But these companies, your ADTs, your Vivint, your Cox, your Verizons, all of these companies, they come out. These guys have been trained to put Simply Safe. But Simply Safe is you can install yourself, so you have a variety.
You can't get any cheaper than that.
Right. And I used to have Simply Safe. I don't have it anymore because I kept getting false alarms. It kept falsing like crazy. I was just like, okay, it's got to go. And they wouldn't do anything about it. So I just got rid of it because I was like, if I can't rely on it, it's not doing its job. But with the other companies, with the companies, they come out, they train these guys to put every alarm in the same exact way they put the other house in. So it's like a cookie cutter system. And now you don't have to worry about wires, so you don't have to worry about, okay, well, can I get the wires there? They put the contacts in the same place. The only difference, and the only difference in most cases is wherever your internal cameras are. So those are going to be different because the inside of the house, the motion detect, those are going to be different. But if I'm coming to the house, and Google and YouTube teaches all, if I'm coming to the house and I see an ADT sign out front, so let's talk about the signs, Weapon. I'm gonna just let you talk about it, because what you said to me about 4 or 5 months ago, just light bulb struck. I don't have a sign in front of my house. I just never believed in it, because all it is would you say
advertisement?
It's advertisement.
Yep. It says I have stuff worth stealing. I have a security system. It's a Brinks. If you're a criminal and you do home invasions or break-ins often, you learn how those systems are set up and ways to bypass them. Where they typically install the keypad, how many sensors they typically use, where they put them. Does this security system come with window sensors? Do they offer it aftermarket? So on and so forth.
Yeah. You haven't tried to break through one of my systems. None of that would work.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, there's all kinds of things. If you have, I got to admit, there's probably guys out there that do the same thing over and over again because they're doing the same houses over and over again.
Right.
But all those things you would have to know once you got into the home. There's so much you can do nowadays, especially with these the doorbell cameras. You can have a pressure mat at the front door that starts video right away.
All of that is great, but these guys nowadays don't care.
No,
I've seen criminal videos. The guys are standing right outside. They're standing right outside a Ring camera, loading up and getting, racking the guns and getting in line and getting ready to kick it in and everything. And they're on camera. They don't care. They see the camera. They know it's there. They don't give a damn.
This is risk. This is what I'm talking about when you start having to weigh cost with risk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you got $1 billion in a safe in your house, you're going to spend thousands of dollars for a security system. If you have a couple of P80s in a little drawer safe in the back, the guy that's going to break in and steal those has got to be a fucking idiot. There's a lot of other places to go get stuff. So that's what I say. It all boils down to risk and how much you want to spend to protect it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing, if you have anything in your house worth stealing, you need to have a big ass safe secured to the floor, secured to at least two walls in an area that you can't get in there and swing a sledgehammer or nothing. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's securing what most average people might have in their house. Because that would
where they would keep their valuables.
That's right. Because if you break in and set the alarm off, if it's got a loud noise or it's even monitored to the police, that gives a guy maybe 15 minutes at best before somebody shows up to go in there and try and bust open a safe.
Well, most times these guys that are doing home invasions are doing smash and grabs anyway. They're not trying to break in safes. They're trying to break in.
Exactly.
The national average right now is 3 people coming into your house. Okay, it's not that guy that's going to pick the lock and come in and quiet like they used to do in the 70s and 60s.
And
the cat burglar. The cat burglar don't exist anymore.
You kick in my door to come in and grab something, and there's 3 of them. 2 of them won't be leaving.
Well, again, it depends on where you are. Most people probably where you live have dogs and have guns. So again, we talked earlier about the 3 different situations. You got me who live in a subdivision, you live out in the country, and Weapon lives in an apartment building. So that's 3 different scenarios that's going to happen. So where you live at, there's probably less likely going to be home invasions because they know already what they're looking at getting into. But
there's several of them around where I live.
They've probably cased it, and they probably know what they're going to get into when they go.
Exactly.
They know that the person don't have dogs,
and they hit old people who think they got money.
Yep. So you
back to my point. 3 come in.
So you got the guys, right? So you got the guys that come in. We just talked about the guys that are standing in front of the door camera, 5, 6 of them. They getting ready to go in. They don't care that the camera's there. They got on masks or whatever. They think they can't be caught. They are going to break in the door, run and grab as much as they can, and get out. They're not staying 15 minutes for the cops to come. But what they don't, and the risk for them is, does the person on the other side of that door have a gun to be
in Tennessee?
Right. But here's the thing, and I tell people, right, this is what I ask in class. I ask people, who's going, if someone comes in your house, right, and I preface it just like this, right, if someone comes in your house and you get woke up in the middle of the night, who's going hunting? Right. And at first they go, huh? I was like, if you're in the middle of the night, you hear somebody come in your house, are you going to hunt down the problem? And they go, I usually get a fair amount of them go, yeah, I'm going hunting you in my house. Right. So then I go through the situation. I say, okay, so how many guns you got by your bedside? Usually everybody says 1, sometimes 2. All right. How many magazines you got? 1, sometimes 2. How many rounds in each magazine? So the average about I get is probably about 30 rounds that they're going hunting with. And then I hit them with, okay, 35. Cool. Yeah, 35, 30, 40, whatever the case is. It's usually 2 magazines at the most, unless you grab your AR, and then okay, that's not usual though. That's not normal. Normal people, unlike
7
us,
rounds, 12
one
rounds.
One girl said she had 7 rounds in her bedside gun. I'm like, okay, so you got 14. I said, how many people came in your house? Now, because they're under the mentality that one person is coming in my house. They're like, oh, one person's coming in. So how many people come in your house? Oh, one. The most I get is 2. I said, okay, the national average is 3 people coming in the house, right? I said, okay, that's 3 people. So you're already outmanned. It's because it's just you or you and your husband at the most. Y'all each got a gun. How many guns do those 3 people have? And then they go, 1. I said, really? I said, is that all they have? I said, okay, let's just say they have 1. How many magazines they have? And then they start clicking. They have no idea. They don't know how many people came in the house. They don't know how many guns those people got. They don't know how many different weapons. They don't know how many extra magazines they have. So you are going into a situation where you are outmanned and possibly outgunned just to save property.
And if you don't think for a second that whoever that is breaking into your home doesn't have somebody parked down the block, keeping an eye out, you are sadly fucking mistaken. And if you don't think for a second, if they hear shots going off, they're either going to fight or they're going to flight. They're going to try to save their friends or they're going to take the fuck off.
Yep.
You don't know that.
And they don't get it. And then they go, so why do I have a gun? Because you have a gun that way, if somebody tries to attack you and kill you, you have a fighting chance. But you should definitely not go hunting in your house. Forget about the legal aspect of it. Okay. Right. Again, depending on what state you live in, you may be looking at charges because you went into a situation even in your own house. Let's forget about that. Let's talk about this aspect of, and guys, a lot of times it's the guys. They go, well, I'm gonna go hunting. Okay, go hunting. I gotta protect my family. Okay, protect your family. What if you go out there? It's just you. It's 3 of them. They all open fire on you and they kill you. Now, who's there to protect your family? Who's there to protect your wife and kids who are in the room now by themselves? Right? Okay, so let's just say you get the upper hand and you kill the guys. Now you come back and your wife is in the room with a gun. Do you have a safe word? Or are you just going to open the door and she's going to start shooting? Or worse, she panics. Or it might be the other way around. She might have went out there and went hunting and you in the room with the kids. You start shooting through the door. Yeah. You shoot through the door when you hear something at the door. It just doesn't make any sense. Right. And I know it makes sense in here when you think about it, but when you start adding these other things, your emergency home plan.
Dave said it perfect. Home invaders not only have multiple people, but now carry 30-round mags and full auto Sears.
Several of them. You are outmanned, outgunned, period. Just consider that. You are outmanned and outgunned. Go to a room, get your family. Now, and I tell people this too, a lot of times, especially houses here, they have either the kids' rooms are upstairs and the parents' room is downstairs, or vice versa, which is stupid. I don't know what parent would keep their kids on the bottom floor and you're all the way upstairs. But I live in a ranch, so we just happen to have all of our bedrooms on one end of the house. But I've seen ranches where you have the kids' rooms on one end and the parents' room on the other. Now, if they're between me and my kids or me and my wife, and they're in my house, game over.
Yeah.
Okay. But everything we've talked about tonight, and I'm saying this because we're about to wind the plane and get in and wrap up here. Everything we talked about tonight, and we purposely did that, was ways that you can keep people out of your house. Stop them before they even get in the house. We all know what we would do if they got in the house. Take the charge, whatever we need to do to protect our family. But how about let's avoid the situation to begin with? Get rid of the signs out front your house, because that is an invitation. Would you say weapon? It's an invitation. I have nice stuff.
I have valuables worth taking.
I have valuables worth taking. Or you told me before, he says challengers being accepted.
Challengers accepted.
Challengers accepted. Let's not do that. Let it be a surprise. Like Hawkeye said, let's set our alarms to go off immediately. When we go to bed, let's set the alarm to go off immediately when the door gets kicked in or the glass gets kicked in. Let's figure out a way, or when we go away on vacation, let's activate all these cameras. Get cameras. All of these things to keep people out of the house, because the best way to survive a violent encounter is to avoid it altogether. So that's what
move your yard.
What do you say?
He said, make it look like you don't have anything worth stealing. And I said, yeah, don't mow your yard. yeah, that'll do it. I've been there a time or two. But hey, how about this, guys? Don't put the signs outside. I mean, the flags outside your house that advertise you have a house full of guns. The Gladstone snake. A lot of guys know what that means. That means you are a Second Amendment advocate and you have at least one gun in the house worth stealing. And if you have that flag out, chances are...
I'm not going to kick in your door while you're home. I'm going to wait till your car leaves.
I'm going to wait till you leave when nobody's home, and I'm going to go in and see how many guns I can get. Or the Second Amendment, what do you call it? The Second Amendment signs with the skulls and all of that. Hey, I love them. And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to put them out. I wanted to put them outside my house. But then I thought about what it would happen if I could put them out, if I put them out. Is something going to happen? Just really depends on where you live.
I saw one that was a wind chime and a little sign on the end of the wind chime that said, please help me finish my wind chime. And the wind chime was made out of spent casings.
Oh,
and that's fucking hilarious. I kind of want that, but it's like I said, it's an invitation.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up too, I know most of us here are smart enough to know, as Hawkeye said, assess your risk, right? Do I lock my safe at night or don't I?
Always.
Oh, jeez.
Now, I don't have any children. It's just me and the wife. My safe is unlocked at nighttime when I am home, because in the middle of the night, if I hear a bump, adrenaline rushes, I'm half asleep. Am I going to sit there and fumble with, 4 buttons on my safe, or am I just going to reach in and start squeezing?
I'm going to grab my shotgun next to the bed.
Well, right. Yeah. If I think Ram's seen my wall in my room. Mm-hmm. They better hope I grab a firearm. My room is like a battle room. There's knives and swords and axes and all sorts of various wonderment all over the place. They better hope I get my hands on my 9mm.
Yeah.
Or choppy.
Oh man. Well, I definitely, guys in the chat, Blade Boy and all the rest of you, man, I definitely appreciate you joining us in offering all your information. There's so many comments that we could put up, and guys, if you're watching on replay, pay attention to the comment section. These guys have a lot of important information. Kids downstairs, parents upstairs is a very West Coast thing. Yeah. But let's stay safe, people, especially in these holiday seasons. People, if you're worried about porch pirates, get your stuff delivered elsewhere. Don't go outside because your ring alarm shows motion of somebody walking up to your house, and you're going to go outside and confront them because they're about to steal a box that can be replaced.
Can we also get a sign of hands in the comment section here? Who carries in their home?
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that, and we didn't talk about.
I know it was something that Nas had mentioned. Yeah, we touched on storage briefly. Make sure you have proper storage. If you have children, keep the firearms out of their reach. Keep your safes locked.
Yep.
I have a safe. It's locked when I have company over. When I have young company over, my friends know well enough not to touch my shit.
Well, here's the key to that. If you have your guns locked up, and I talk about this in class also, train to get your gun out under duress.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's locked up, the weapon just talked about in the middle of the night, he doesn't want to have to fumble with 4 buttons to get his gun, right? But if he had people and he had to lock it up, I'm sure he has trained how fast to get it out when he needed to. So if that's you, if you're watching this and you're like, well, I got to lock it up because I have kids, absolutely, you should absolutely lock it up.
100%.
But
yes,
you should also train how fast can you get it out. And one of the ways you can do that, and I'm gonna give this one away. Darth Dav raised his hand. He keeps his on him. So guys, start raising your hand if you carry while you're in the house. Also, while I make this point, but if you don't live alone, I don't carry in the house because I have guns all over the place, so I can get to one really quick. But sometimes if I forget to take it off, I might find myself sitting here with it on. But have someone, if you don't live alone, right? Or if you have a neighbor, if you do live alone in an apartment, you do have a neighbor, have someone set the timer or set the alarm on your phone for a random time in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Unload your gun. Unload your gun. And I'm going to say it one more time. Unload your gun. Put the ammunition far, far away from wherever you're going to secure the gun. When that alarm goes off in the middle of the night and wakes you out of a dead sleep, see how long it takes you to get your gun out of your safe.
And I would even add to that, keep an empty mag next to it. So not only to take your firearm out of the safe, but to load the mag in. Empty mag.
Yeah. These things will help you build the pathways in your brain if you, in fact, have to live in that way. It's just me and my wife. We don't have any kids in the house. And when my kids are home, they all know gun safety. We've all been to the range. We all know that. And they're all in their right mind. So they're not going to just take one of my guns. So I'm not really worried about my kids. But when they have company over, everything gets locked up. When I have company over, everything gets locked up. But I know how long it'll take me to get to whatever I need to get to and get it unlocked and get it out. So definitely, if that's you, do that training.
I would also
test yourself.
Say to, if you have close friends that visit you often, that you trust with your life, make sure they know how to get into your safe too. In case I can't get to it, in case I've been incapacitated and can't reach my safe. I have at least 3 friends that I hang out with, that I associate with, that I consider family, that have access to my firearms anytime they need them. And that goes, specifically for if they're at my house and, God forbid something were to happen. And I was incapacitated for some reason. They know how to get to my firearms if they're not already carrying themselves, because most of them do. But, just in case.
And that's how I treat my children when they come over. They know where my guns are in the house. So if, in fact, again, I have a long ranch, if I'm in my bedroom and they're in my office and someone comes in through the living room, they don't have to come find me. I don't have to go find them. They know to grab the closest gun possible and defend their lives.
And have a plan, people. Plan with your family. Go over these scenarios. Your natural disasters, your fires, your home invasions. Especially if you live in an area where you're prone to that. I mean, I live in a very nice neighborhood, very upper scale, but shit happens here too. All the time.
Oh, yeah. Bad people go to nice neighborhoods all the time.
Oh, where do you think I did most of my stuff when I was a younger youth? Do you think I robbed people in my neighborhood? Hell no.
Nope.
because the chances are I might run into them on the street or something, and they might have recognized me for whatever reason, or recognize my voice even. No, I went and I did that shit in upper scale neighborhoods.
Yep. So, anything else, guys, you want to offer? I mean, anything we didn't touch on that you wanted to touch on? I'm willing to go a little longer, or we can do it in the next show. Maybe we could talk about some of the in the next show, some of the things securing inside the house.
Oh yeah,
we kind of covered.
We're interested in
that. We covered a few of it a little bit tonight. So, but we can definitely talk about and how about this? How about we talk about, guys, and you this in the chat too. This is some homework for you. Let's talk about the differences in laws concerning defense of your home and inside your home in your state. Because I can talk about
versus stand your ground
versus stand your ground, or where. So how about this, guys? Get some information. You probably already know it, because we all have guns. So I would hope that everybody knows what the laws are concerning those in their area. Let's talk about that on the next show.
Do you guys remember many years, but it's probably 10 years now, when New Orleans first introduced the castle law for vehicles? And that old lady just dropped some fucking dude trying to steal her car. Just, it's like a 357 Magnum or something. She just took dude out.
Crazy. So let's talk about that on the next show. Let's just continue this conversation and roll it into, now they're in the house. What can you do and what can't you do? I've talked, kind of a little bit about what in Virginia, but I know, everybody has a different location. So let's talk about that on the next show.
We have castle law. We have castle law here in Minnesota.
Hawkeye?
Pardon?
You down for that for the next show in 2 weeks?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I can look up, but it doesn't matter. He comes to my house, he's a dead son of a bitch.
What would that make? That would be...
Hey, if they throw me in jail, will they pay for my health care?
3 hots in the cot.
Yeah,
that's about it. Minimal situations with healthcare in jail. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because we are now at 11:10, so we're just over an hour. We started a few minutes late today, but that's okay because we're still getting back in the swing of things. I'm back healthy. Weapon, I know we didn't cover it in the beginning. How's your wife doing, dude? Before we go,
every day is a new day. For the last 3 months, she's been here in 2 to 4 weeks for her recovery. She's still hooked up to a wound vac. Mm-hmm. Don't think she'll be able to go back to work till after the beginning of the year, at least. Okay. All right. So it's
getting better slowly but surely.
Right.
Okay.
Slowly but surely. Yep.
It's going to take a while, dude. I mean, like I said, sure. I was on a wound vac for over a month, and then still had to do wet to dries for a year before I could do anything. So yeah, I was on wet to dries for almost a year before my stomach closed up when I got shot. So it's tough, and she and hers, man, I can only imagine. So definitely prayers are with you, with her.
I think the last measurement was 12 inches.
Okay, so yeah, and she's open wider than I ever was. It's going to take a while. So, all right, well, the prayers are still being sent, and
brother, I appreciate that, man.
Again, as always, you need anything, you call me, let me know.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
All right,
same here, man.
We are about to get out of here, guys. I definitely thank everyone for being here. It just, I love being here. So I miss you guys. Let's hope the holidays don't get us under so much that we can't be here. I'll be here one way or the other, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, just to say hey. But we'll talk to you guys later, man. Have a good one.